I'm Gunner.
I'm Patrick.
This is Will.
And I'm Chris.
And Colton's not here.
And Colton's not here. And we are on the wrong podcast.
Welcome to Guys with Issues.
Today's
issue.
Our issue now is we're not on Guys with Issues.
But we're on a call. So we're officially on the call, guys.
It's true.
Yes.
They're on a call.
That's funny.
Call Guys with Issues.
I will die on that day.
I absolutely love Miley Cyrus.
You have failed this
Right, so I get to say it right on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Call Guys podcast. I'm Gunner, also known as Chico Noise, three-time podcast host. And at the current moment, he's not alongside me as always, but he should be here in a little bit. But even better, we've got the podcast we've talked about, I don't know how many times since they started. It's Guys with Issues.
So many issues.
So many issues. We've got
Yep.
Pat and Will and Chris.
Should we keep them in suspense?
As to who's who?
Right.
Gotta keep
Well,
it somewhere.
it's really just the two of you. I've been on
That's true.
call guys several
You're
Yeah.
a
times.
face they recognize.
I'm chasing the emperor. This is it. Putting another notch. Ahsoka's coming up too, so I'm closing the gap.
We're closing the gap. I was going to make this joke where I was going to be, yeah, I was going to make a joke where I was going to be like, well, y'all know Pat and Will, and I don't think you ever met Chris.
I hope they know Pat and Will from listening to Guys with Issues.
Yeah. We
Hopefully
plugged
we
you
have a
guys.
little bit of crossover.
Yeah.
We plugged you guys a couple times.
Oh yeah, this puts a smile on my face every time.
Yeah. And you plugged yourself a couple times.
Right.
So yeah. Welcome to the Call Guys podcast. You want to
Thanks.
tell the listeners a little bit about yourselves?
We are guys, and we have issues.
Right.
It's in the name.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Wow.
It's true. It's
Yeah,
true.
we're-
Comic book issues, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's our main shtick. Chris has read comic books for quite a while. Pat and I haven't, but we enjoyed the movies. So we're like, hey, why don't we start a book club? Read comics. Chris can kind of be our Sherpa through this. And then,
Chris.
yeah, Sherpa Chris.
Right. Chirpa Chris.
Although most of the stuff we read, I haven't read either. So it's
But
like,
you know
it's
about
fun
it,
for
though.
me too.
Right.
It's all new. Like it's fun that it's new. It's new for all of us though.
But you,
like the
you have a
comic.
lot more comic
Yeah, like I can
knowledge than
answer
we do.
questions and
Yes.
explain things sometimes. So yeah.
And you used to work at a comic shop. So
That's true. And Gunner, I'm trying to get Gunner reading more comics. I'm
I
trying.
have a whole box, as we've talked about many times. It's a lot of Green Lantern. Hush is in there.
That doesn't surprise me at all. It's
Yeah.
a lot of Green Lantern.
He thought it would be good, so I hooked him up.
You gave me the first one, Reborn, and I read that and I
Yeah,
loved it. And then he comes back the next day with this like
I was like, "You want to read the
13-inch
whole
by
shebang?"
yeah, and it weighed like 40 pounds.
Yeah, more than the baby that is gonna come soon.
well, I hope so.
Yeah,
40 pound baby.
dude, your wife.
Yeah,
Oh my
that would be
gosh.
horrible for your
Might
life.
actually kill her.
No, they
we'd
would
have
do
a-
surgery. They would
We'd have
do.
a reality show.
You
my
would
40-pound
my
baby.
40-pound baby. Oh shoot!
Yeah.
There'd
Oh
be
my
like, no.
You hear baby crawling.
Oh,
Order
that's
some
it.
specialty diapers or something.
You just use
It's like
normal.
my son, who's 4, is just about 40 pounds.
adult diapers on a baby.
You'd have to buy like pull-ups.
Yeah. Start them off right.
Skip right to the depends.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what's going on, guys? I mean, I don't see Pat very much anymore. Obviously, I don't see Will because he doesn't work with us anymore. But I see Chris, and he's been calling me a lot lately. But
Here and there. Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
How you been? What's up? Anything
Yeah.
interesting this week? Right? That's what
Yeah,
you
that's
guys
pretty much
do.
the way we roll.
Oh, that's how we do it too. I wonder if
All right, let me go last
Someone
because I
borrowed
don't
that.
remember if there's anything interesting.
Okay, Will, what's your week been like?
I'm dodging the Apple Festival.
Oh
They've
man.
got my whole street locked down. They've got my
Oh,
main
no.
thoroughfare to work locked down. Instead of it taking 9 minutes to get to work, it takes me a full 10.
Oh,
man.
The inconvenience level is really starting to get to me.
Yeah. Well, it's only one more
I
day.
don't know how you stand it.
Wow.
I know.
They added like 7 minutes to my drive with what they're doing over here.
Oh, yeah. The bridge
Oh
out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
your drive went from what, like 2 to 3 minutes?
3 minutes to 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I drive almost 30 minutes regardless. Although I did
Yeah.
forget about the Apple Festival and I took the back way to work today. So when I came up 19, I was like, dang it. I can't go up to 6. I was like, shoot. I forgot. Yep. I dealt with that. Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
well.
it is sort of convenient because if I want to go, I can just walk around the corner and I'm there. So,
Yeah. Need some fair
You
food.
gotta go to at least get kettle corn.
oh, of course.
Dude, the big
Oh yeah,
bag.
that one guy. Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta get the big bag of kettle corn.
Mhm.
Green. Chris, how you
Yeah,
doing?
Chris. What about you?
How am I doing? I'm fine.
Always
Work-
good.
Work's been busy. I dodged going to PA this week. Gunner and I both did. We thought either of us could have gone this week, and neither of us had to, so that was cool. Which worked out because it would have been hard to do this, and probably wouldn't have seen the movie. And so
Actually, we probably would have seen the movie because there's a theater right there, and then we could
that's
have
true.
recorded
That's
from
true.
the hotel.
But it's nice that we didn't have to. Had a lot going on. Still adjusting to my son just starting preschool, so that's different. And but work's overwhelming right now a little bit. So trying to find out for everything. But yeah, I mean, after work is just whatever. I mean, same as usual, right? Trying to get my house ready to sell. So
Get the house ready to sell.
might have to call on Gunner's help. Said he might help me with some yard work.
I'll be there if you
Pick
need
him
me.
up.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
Will's gonna help me put in a window
Yep.
so I can take a board down finally.
Well, if you need any IT help, let me know.
Will do. I know that you have way more skills than that. Okay.
Well, he's not volunteering those
Don't
skills.
tell anybody.
He's only volunteering the one.
He's volunteering the IT skills.
Oh shoot! They came out with the Aquaman 2 trailer today.
I watched it.
I didn't. You haven't even seen the first movie.
Oh, I've seen the first movie.
I thought you said you didn't see the first movie.
I thought you were talking about the second movie because I already thought it was out forever ago.
Oh, that's why I was confused. I was like, I thought you'd seen it.
Yeah.
Does the trailer look good?
No.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I didn't think it looked really
Oh, that's a bummer.
great at all.
That is a
But
bummer.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
You'll have to watch it and let me know what you think.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably be like, yeah, I'll go see it.
Well, tune in to Guys with Issues. I'm sure we'll tell
talk
ya.
about it Sunday. Be like, hey, we watched that trailer.
Watch that trailer and it was all right. Pat?
What to talk about yet?
No, but I am excited to go to the Corn Dog Festival on the 23rd.
Oh yeah,
Finally, a
Corn
festival
dog
we're going
festival?
to.
Corn Dog Festival
in Bristol.
Yeah.
Nice.
They usually name them after fruit, like you got the blueberry,
Yeah.
apple, but the corn dog one. Now that
Right?
Well, do you know why Bristol is having a corn dog festival?
Yes.
there's a bunch of dork fishes.
No, caught him on a corn dog. My wife loves that joke.
Yeah,
She does. Bill Engvall, right?
He
Yeah.
hasn't done a special in a while. But
No.
yeah.
But anyway, Bristol is like the corn dog capital of the world. They make 1.5 million pounds of corn dogs a week.
And I only eat half of that.
So you're
Can't
keeping
tell you
up
the
with
last time I ate a
Yeah.
corn dog.
Dude, that's like 75 million pounds of corn dogs a year. If you would have told me people consume that, like that's just one company making
Yeah, I
them,
would
right?
not have.
I would have been like,
guessed
corn
that.
dogs are that popular?
You buy 8 at a time or something like that.
Look around at
Dude,
Americans and their average weight. I do believe we consume that amount
I
of
don't
corn
think
dogs.
corn dogs and weight are related because I've gained weight and I haven't been eating corn dogs.
Well, we could argue about the false logic there, but it's not that kind of podcast. So,
No, the Call Guys is all false logic.
okay,
That's
cool.
just-
That is totally right. Yep, that's how that works.
Yep,
Nailed it.
nailed it.
Nah,
Mentone has the egg festival.
Egg?
Egg festival, yeah.
Did you say egg?
Egg, yeah, like eggs, like
Yeah.
chickens.
Do they have
Scotch
throw 'em and
eggs?
stuff? Do they have
Oh,
Scotch eggs?
Scotch eggs. I love Scotch
Oh,
eggs.
man.
Scotch eggs are so good.
Yeah.
Stupid good.
Better than eggs is sausage.
Oh, speaking of eggs, I got a hamburger with an egg on it the other day.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It was okay for the
Oh,
second.
come on.
No.
He's
I'm gonna say my piece about this. Okay, I'm gonna die on this hill. I have tried multiple hamburgers with eggs on them
Uh-huh.
because that's the thing, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, depending what is with the hamburger, which is they usually pair it with bacon because they're like, look, bacon and eggs on a
Breakfast
hamburger.
burger.
And usually there's some kind of sauce. The one that I had was a red pepper chipotle aioli because it was Okinawa, so you know it's always good. And here's the problem. When you have all of these things on a burger already, eggs do not have a strong flavor, okay? They just
You
get
do it for the
buried.
mess. You do it for the
They get-
mess.
They get
Yeah.
buried in it. Like, yeah, you get the yolk and stuff. But the thing is like you barely taste the yolk. Like it's totally extra. It's completely frivolous. I understand in England they do it because most of their food is super bland anyway. And so thank you to all of our British listeners. Your food does tend to be bland. That's a universal piece of knowledge in case you didn't know because you grew up there. So here's the thing.
Told
On
me.
your bland burger, egg might pop. It might. But guess what? In America, where we make sure things have depth of flavor and a lot of synergies, that egg just gets lost. Totally frivolous, pointless, just calories.
Listen, the only thing better than
You're
an
gonna
egg
say-
on a burger
Shut
is
up, I
peanut
know
butter.
I knew you were going to say peanut butter. Oh, Patrick likes.
Why
likes
not
peanut-
both?
Oh, yeah, I've done both. I mean,
Yeah,
every time we do
delicious.
smash burgers,
Yeah.
peanut butter and egg, bacon, cheese.
That's all
Bring
you
it.
need.
Whatever.
So if Chris
Throw
doesn't,
some mustard on there next time.
if Chris
Okay.
doesn't like eggs on his hamburgers, maybe we should make him some eggs and then put a hamburger on it.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll like that.
There you go. That's thinking
Uh,
outside the box.
If eggs are flavorless, why do people eat them by
I
themselves?
didn't say they were flavorless. I said they have a mild flavor. Okay. They're not strongly flavored.
You get a good rich yolk with a good peppered white.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you know what? You can taste that when you're just eating the egg. Okay. With the burger, if it's seasoned right and you got all the stuff, it gets lost. I love eggs. I eat them all the time, especially on the weekends. And we go through tons of eggs at my house. I'm a huge egg fan. That's why I got the burger. And once again, I'm like, can't taste the egg. What's the point?
So from what I got from that is you're kind of an egghead.
Wow. You're on
Nice.
it. tonight.
Nice.
Hey,
Well,
It sounds to me like you need to put an egg on a burger that you make at home
yeah, I think so.
without all of the extra stuff.
I make my burgers with all the extra stuff. So what you're saying
But try it.
is I
without.
need to just make
Yeah.
a patty and egg.
yeah, stop being extra.
Okay.
Not cheese, bacon,
He
butter,
went-
and bun.
But that's just like, okay,
Peanut
to be
butter.
fair, I love breakfast burritos. Okay.
Yeah.
Love breakfast burritos. But if you have like let's say the egg normous breakfast burrito, right? We're going to go commercialize Burger King egg normous breakfast burrito. And you have your tater tots and your chipotle sauce and your sausage and your bacon and egg and all this stuff. The egg does get lost in all of that. Like the egg isn't what comes through. It's what holds it all together. Use egg just to fill up the burrito.
It's a filler, right?
It
But
is. It is.
But
But when you
it's
add
still
it to a
there.
burger, it's not a filler. And I feel like it just gets lost.
if you
I
did
love
all
breakfast.
of that stuff in that burrito without egg, it would taste different.
True.
I'm sure it tastes a little different. There's a ton of egg, a ton. I guarantee you there's way more than one egg in those burritos.
I'm just saying.
I know when I make them at home, there's like 4 eggs. So maybe that's what it is. I need to do 4 fried eggs on a burger, and then I'll get the flavor and I'll be like, that was awesome. There it was.
Sounds to me like those people that like eat so much garlic they can hardly taste garlic anymore. I think you've eaten so many eggs.
You
that
can't taste
eggs anymore.
I don't think that's it, but okay.
I
Well,
have no idea.
I don't believe you.
Chris, I'm glad you want to die on this hill. I'm glad you want to die on this hill.
I will. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make 4 eggs. I'm going to get a burger patty. There's not even going to be bread. It's going to be the eggs as the bread.
Yeah.
I'll put bacon in between and I'll just eat it like that.
I mean, it sounds
And when
delicious.
it comes through, I'll be like, there you go, guys. I found the way I need to do it.
The only way to eat eggs ever again. All right, well, let's move on because I got a question on the pod for you guys, and you guys are big superhero guys, and we're gonna be talking about a superhero today. We're gonna be talking about a superhero movie. But I got a question. I don't know if you guys have asked this question to each other. I don't think you have. But if you could choose to be a superhero sidekick, what superhero would you choose?
The Tick.
You
All right,
want to
then.
be Arthur?
Yeah.
Arthur, old chum. Well,
Uh,
that was funny.
I'm trying to think if I know many
You
sidekicks.
get one.
Well,
Like,
you
does
can
it-
make you can
does
like
it-
say
You don't
like you,
have to have a
They don't have to
sidekick.
have.
yeah, no.
Okay,
hmm.
I'm going to go with the Beast.
Oh, so he can teach you science.
Yeah,
So you'd be an X-Man.
that'd be great. Yeah, sure. That's
Do
fine.
we have to use their same powers? Because usually sidekicks kind of go along with it, right? Similar power set.
Yeah, something that like complements.
Except
them
for the
in
Tick.
Yeah.
Arthur's
I mean,
just a dude in a moth suit.
yeah.
But so
That's
you'd
the-
be like acrobatic and strong. And would you be Harry? Or would you be
I
like
mean,
old
I'm
school?
already Harry. It works out.
You're a wizard, Harry.
So- okay. Then I would say, if I could, there's so many cool superheroes. Who would I want to be a sidekick to? I'm just gonna say Green Lantern then, because then I'd probably sidekick to Hal Jordan, maybe Kyle. Kyle would probably be a nicer teacher. Hal would probably be a little tougher. Definitely not Guy. But that would mean I'm a lantern, and that would be super cool. Although I have terrible willpower, which means I would get whooped all the time.
That's why
I
you're
bet-
friends with Will.
I said I bet Will has really good willpower.
I got the power.
He is the power.
The power of Will.
God,
This is the only
anime.
willpower I have. the power of will in anime. The god in anime. Oh, Nick.
Oh my.
What about you? Who would you sidekick to?
Iron Man.
Ooh, get a suit. That would
Yeah.
be cool.
I'd like to have my own suit, and I don't know. He doesn't. I mean, as in crime fighting, he doesn't really ever seem like he does a whole lot of that. But I think
He only acts when
he'd be
he
a good
has to,
mentor.
right?
Yeah, he'd be
Yeah.
a good mentor.
Well, you say that, except I'm pretty sure he's the villain of Spider-Man: Homecoming. But whatever. That's my own take. He's really the antagonist. He's the reason everybody makes mistakes and does bad things in that movie.
I think that's the entire MCU.
Marvel. Iron Man makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
Like, but I've learned, whatever.
It's Iron Man's fault.
See, the thing is I feel like if he had, so technically Peter was mentoring with him, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
So technically, though, if you were like his sidekick, do you think being Tony, he would just send you out without him? Or if he did go with you, it would just be an empty suit?
I think the thing that he would do is he would let you loose, but he would also have such a keen eye and be watching everything you do somehow.
Hmm.
That way, if you mess up, he can fix
Jarvis.
it. Yeah, Jarvis or Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
With the empty suit. Going
Yeah.
along with you.
That's interesting. Who do you think Colton would pick?
I don't know. Maybe if he shows up, we'll ask him.
Yeah.
He's
I hope he
definitely-
does, so
Whoop,
we
whoop.
can hear.
He's definitely going to pick Superman. I just know it.
He
Oh,
might.
I was gonna say Batman.
Well, he likes Batman.
Oh,
He
no.
does. He does like Batman.
So he hates DC, but he hates their flagship icon.
That makes no sense.
So he hates the brand, but
he
none of
hates
the
that they
heroes.
can only make a good Batman movie. He has said that.
Yeah, that's his thing. Why is the only thing they can do is Batman? But they've done good things other than Batman.
I know. We don't have to talk about that now. He'll bring it up if he shows up, I'm sure.
Chris is gonna rage.
Nope. I'm going to just let these two handle it this time. I'm tired of fighting with Colton. I know that he won't move. He's dying on that hill.
He's dying on that hill. Shirts soon to come. Speaking of shirts, if you're watching YouTube this week, a good quote by Juan Kill for 3. So yeah, we'll see.
Nice. I wish I would have brought a little DC flag.
Yeah, you should. I'm just enjoying Patrick's background, like
Me too.
all of the things that are on that shelf.
Yeah,
Because he paid a lot of money for him.
just a couple pennies.
He doesn't want
Oh,
you
honey.
to bring that up.
No, I'm going to bring it up.
Why would you do such a thing?
The flex.
Why do you hate me?
He loves you.
I'm trying to.
He's trying to say how baller you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Patrick and Logan, we get along really well.
Oh, yeah.
Nerd Mageddon would happen.
What are you trying to say?
Patrick, all this time,
I'm just a regular guy.
you're a
I'm just-
nerd.
No, never. Not once in my
You're
life.
so cool.
I don't believe it.
Oh,
See, I don't even have to say it anymore.
no,
I got you.
everybody just took your catchphrase. I do think that that's true, though. I think everybody else, I think we use it more than he does now because
I
we
believe
just
so.
look at him and say it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe it.
But yeah,
Too
Patrick's
good.
bookshelf is full of board games and
Yeah, I need to-
collectible cool
I need to
stuff.
rearrange a little bit because like
Comic
all these
books.
are different card decks.
Nice.
And
Like special
I
ones.
don't have them
And he's
you
got
know,
tons of RPG books.
situated. Yeah, tons of RPG stuff.
It's neat.
Oh yeah.
It's nice.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he had to,
People-
he wanted to, try to keep up a little with your cool background.
Right. Because you have a cool background as well.
I put some work into it. That's for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, you
That's
did.
for sure. I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You put the time and thought into it and stuff. Yes, you did.
I should take a screenshot of every room I've had since we started the podcast because I switched it up like 3 times since we started. I think it would be kind of cool.
Yeah, the evolution.
Yeah. Podcast evolution.
Someday I need to play Windward again because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It looks cool. I like the box.
Yeah, it was cool because I won in the last turn
You
on the
really
last
did.
roll.
Do you
I came.
judge-
I had to roll a perfect roll, and basically it's like sky whaling, like these flying ships and these
And
whales
pirating.
and pirating.
Nice.
And this basically the Moby Dick of the whales came out, and I was just I was in the exact amount of space I needed that could make it, but I had to expend everything I had and still roll the maximum number, and I managed to do it, and we thought it was awesome. It was a cool moment.
Yes.
Board game moments. You guys should do a board game episode. Just something kind of random. Killer filler.
Yeah, just a filler where we talk about a board game or some games we like or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
We could probably do that
We could
sometime.
probably do that. I
Yeah.
could have my sister. and
Oh,
brother.
man.
That'd be a good.
You might as well just they're our number 1 and 2 emailers.
Yes.
But they are
Notice.
huge board gamers. Huge. Like these shelves that Patrick has, they basically have an entire wall of their basement done. It looks like a store. They have as many games as a store.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they love them. I think they sold 30 or 35 board games at Gen Con this year.
Sold.
Sold.
Did
yeah,
they
have
come
they have a
home
raffle,
with
an
more?
auction raffle type thing. You can bring in your old board games and people can pick them up for cheaper than full price.
Did they
Oh.
bring home more than 30 back?
No,
from
I think
Gen
they only
Con?
no, it was about 5 or 6.
Wow.
Oh.
Replacements.
That's not much for them.
They're trying to pare it down a little bit.
They're trying to be reasonable, is what you mean.
But
There's
yeah,
no need to be reasonable.
In hobbies. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Exactly.
If you have the money, then be unreasonable. Spoken like Iron Man's sidekick.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So let's see. last night, who went and watched a movie? We're recording this on Thursday. All right, there's a hands. 2 nights ago, who went and watched a movie? About a week and a half ago, who went and watched a movie? Yes. We have guys with issues on for a reason, or I have guys with issues on since my partner's not here. And that is
PC takeover.
Yeah. That is to talk about Blue Beetle.
Yeah, Jaime Reyes.
I'm
Reyes.
Jaime, which came out August 18th of
It's
this year.
Jamie.
Sorry.
It's Jamie. Did you guys mean to do that at the same time? Like you
Nope.
did?
No, we didn't.
That happens.
It does.
Yeah. Came out August 18th. I'm waiting for it again. Directed by Angel Soto. And I just want everybody to know this movie has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes and it has a 6.7 on IMDb. And Chris, what did you say it has on
It's like a 6.5 to 7 on Metacritic. I
yeah.
think. Which is those are pretty normal numbers for
Yeah,
like
pretty average.
blockbusters and superhero movies and stuff like that.
But it did absolutely terrible in the box office. So if you haven't went and saw the movie yet, go see
Well,
I kind of think tonight.
it actually exceeded what they expected it to.
it. Did it?
It hit this week. It hit like 114 million.
Did it?
And there was a point where, and that's worldwide, that's not domestic. But they weren't sure at one time if it was going to break 100 because of like the poor performance of Shazam and the announcement, obviously, with them doing the changeover with Warner Brothers and DC and all that stuff. So, but this is carrying over. Did you know that? Did you hear that?
Yes. Yep.
Gunn did say that
This
they
is
are
the start.
keeping this franchise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
maybe
good.
that helped it a little bit. But I think it did exceed a little bit of what they expected it to do.
Yeah. Pat, did you say that this is the last night for it? Or last day?
I
last
think
week?
so, because I was trying to find like a time we could all get together and do it, and I couldn't find anything after Thursday.
Yeah.
After
I-
tonight that it was even
But
playing
North
anywhere.
Point was like 3 weeks out after Wednesday
Well,
or something
yes,
weird,
but I would looked at 2 other movie
and it was gone.
sites, Cinemark and
I know
AMC, and it was
Lorena
gone.
is planning to see it this weekend if it's anywhere, because she heard that Gunner liked it, and I told her that we all thought it was pretty decent, and so spoilers, but there's a reality, like she wanted to see it, but she kind of wanted to hear our opinions first.
Yeah.
And so she was like, "Oh, I got to see it now." So I hope she can find it somewhere.
Well,
I think she would really like it.
She may have to wait till mid-November because that's when they're planning on throwing it on streaming.
streaming.
She's gonna be bummed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into this, I just want to say that spoiler warning.
This is a spoiler warning. If you have not watched the show or film that is being discussed, go check it out and come back to listen to this installment of the Call Guys podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
This is your
warning.
spoiler warning.
Yes. Chris makes a comeback.
Right? And they still got that track somewhere.
I do. I still have that. I use it. I actually haven't used it in a while because we really haven't reviewed a
You haven't been
new
to it?
movie
Nope. You
in
haven't?
a while. So newish movie, I guess. We did Guardians, but that was also weeks
Post,
after it came out.
right.
So
Yeah, our Guardians episode released like a week after it went to streaming, so we thought that was kind of cool.
yeah.
Kind of worked out that way.
So I always start out when we do a new movie. Your initial thoughts when you walked out of the movie theater.
Pat, none of us were with you. Do you want to start, Gunner? Do you want to give yours first? You saw it first. We want to go in chronological.
Sure, we can do that.
Okay, let's start.
How do you do chronological? Who walked out of the theater first out of YouTube?
We walked out together. We were arm in arm.
You guys are
Yeah.
holding hands, okay?
So we'll
Skipping.
just go. We'll go you and then Pat will me then, because it's kind of, it flows that way.
We'll circle it around. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that I walked out like thinking that DC's ready and they're gonna make this huge comeback from this movie. I wouldn't say like I watched this thinking every movie they make from here on out is gonna be great. But overall, I think I did enjoy the full plot. I enjoyed Jaime as the main character and really the actor that played him. I don't know if it's Zolo. It might be Zolo. Zolo Mariduena. And he thought he did a really good job. He was in Cobra Kai, I think he was where he started. So he did great. His love interest in the movie, I actually really enjoyed her. So overall casting I thought was fine. George Lopez was obviously there for the comic relief and I enjoyed him. But there was also some moments that I didn't think were great. So the movie as a whole, when I first walked out, I was satisfied. I wasn't disappointed. I don't know anything about Blue Beetle either, so
Neither
I
did
mean,
we. Not really. I
it's
mean, I
something-
probably knew a little bit, but
yeah. So
we
being
can-
something new, I enjoyed it.
awesome.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a pause, so I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't
how
fall
things
asleep,
work.
Pat.
No, I thought it was a fun movie. I mean, obviously, it wasn't a perfect movie. It wasn't something that we were born to go see again. But
Mhm.
no, I thought it was a lot of fun. I had it's what I want out of movies. I want to enjoy them, and I enjoyed this one. I took a high school friend with me who is Mexican, and she told me, she was like, "Yeah, I think I got a little more out of this movie than you because I have my own Mexican circus," which I thought was great, and actually a couple of those characters did remind me of people in her family. So yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was about what I expected. The superhero movies aren't really like groundbreaking in any way, but it was a really fun movie. It didn't hit any of those, political points that some movies try to hit now. They just kind of let it be its
Yeah.
own thing. They really, I feel it was an accurate representation of like Hispanic family, Yeah, it had a lot of funny moments. I thought George Lopez was pretty funny. A lot of times, like a lot of his jokes were on point, you know.
The taco.
Oh yeah, the truck.
Come over and help me like this.
Sorry.
Yeah, but overall, big thumbs up.
Nice.
Man, you guys, I freaking love. No, I'm just kidding. It was good. I enjoyed it on the whole. No, I'm not a DC apologist. I will tell you there are movies that I don't like of theirs. Gunner, don't motion your shirt at me. But seriously, there was something that impressed me about this movie. Two big things. One, I felt like the trailer was what you got. I didn't feel misled by the trailer. I felt like I watched the trailer. I knew exactly what I should be getting with this movie. And a lot of times nowadays, we see a trailer and we're like, that was pretty cool. And then you go see it and you're like,
You're either upset or that was the whole movie.
yeah. You're either like, I just watched the whole movie in the trailer, or you go, wow, that trailer was awesome. And that movie kind of sucked. Is how it seems to be. And I
Teenage
felt
Mutant Ninja
like,
Turtles.
right, the trailer for Turtles seemed good.
I know,
that
right?
movie was not.
But we're
But
not talking about turtles right
not
now.
today. That's a later episode of Guys with Issues.
Spoilers.
But whatever.
I know.
We've been
Nobody cares.
I thought that it was satisfying to see a movie that my expectations, I felt like, met, like the expectations set from the advertising were met by what the product was. I don't feel like that's super common nowadays. And so I left it being like, yeah, that's what I expected. That's what I was kind of hoping it would be. I knew it wasn't going to be anything groundbreaking. It's like I told some of you guys already. It's cheesy at times. It gets overly cheesy a few times. And it gets, it has cliches. It has things we've seen in other movies. But I don't think it did them poorly. And I don't think that should discount the movie as a whole. I still think the movie was strong. I think, like you said, Gunnar, you thought the writing, the story was actually pretty good and enjoyable. And then the other thing is, I guess there's two. One, I agree with Will, captures Hispanic Mexican culture super well. Having family who is Mexican, dude, like that is how their family dynamics are. Like, spot on, which was awesome. And to
Revolutionary
see,
grandmother included.
yeah. And then, but the thing is that I thought was cool is that we actually saw a main character in many scenes who was wearing a physical suit. And we had suit up moments where it actually took a second and sometimes it mattered. And we had suits that weren't functioning fully. And it wasn't all, even though the suit was still like a nanotech, right? Like it's still, but there was still like that suit up vibe that you used to get in the early Marvel stuff. And there was like you could tell his suit was a physical costumed prop that he was wearing in numerous scenes, including at the end where his mask was broken. Like you could tell they just made him a broken mask. And how many times in our movies that we watch now with superheroes, you see like the set photos and like it's all VFX. Like it's all like the
They're
suits
covered
and
in
the helmets and everything. It's all mocap suits and it's all this stuff. And so it was cool to be like, holy crap, he's actually wearing a costume. And there's something that I feel like grounds moments sometimes with that. Like it just like puts the feet on the ground a little bit. But yeah, and I think that those things helped me appreciate what they made, like as a piece of cinema. And I thought that on the whole, I think, like we all said, it has missteps, like many popcorn flicks, but like it was fun to watch. It was genuinely fun, and it had some emotional beats.
Yeah,
like,
that was the other thing.
It nailed a couple of genuine emotional beats.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
So major props to them for that, because that's hard in a movie like that sometimes.
Yeah. So, did you have a favorite scene overall? Like, was there a favorite scene that stuck out to you? And I'm gonna say mine was the original suit up scene, right when that beetle first attaches to him, and he's like freaking out, right? He's like going crazy because it's new. And then when he first
in the
hears,
house, you mean?
yeah, when he first hears
that was funny.
Yeah, when he first hears the voice of the beetle, I don't even know the AI or whatever. That's
Kaishikai or something.
Yeah, I just thought it was a fun way for him to get into the suit, because I mean he had no clue what was going on. He's just getting completely attacked by this beetle, and I thought that was pretty good. But then I told Chris earlier that they had the gotta go to space to show that the suit can go to space.
But it's
Iron
an
Man.
alien suit. To be fair,
Yeah,
it is alien tech, so that makes sense.
It had to test it could go to space. It was just running through its checklist.
like every other superhero.
When Spider-Man goes to space, he passes out, falls off the ship
Well,
first.
yeah, unless he has nanotech.
Until he gets his Iron Spider suit. That's all CG, unfortunately.
Exactly.
I mean, I would have been more impressed had they built it.
Had they built the Blue Beetle?
No, the Iron Spider suit.
Oh, like for a set, like an actual design. Oh,
and
dude.
It worked.
Hey, to be fair, the early Iron Man suits were real. There were scenes that he would wear real suits.
Real.
Dude, come on. I don't mean functional, okay?
I mean functional.
Physically there.
Like I said, I would have been a lot more impressed if they actually made the suit.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, we've seen some cosplays. Like we went to Fan Expo.
That seemed like they almost
a few weeks ago. There were two guys there dressed up as Iron Man, and one of them was the when he had the Infinity Stones and he had snapped and he had the damage on him. It was really well done.
Yeah, he actually had lights, like the stone lights going through his arms and stuff. It was cool.
That's awesome.
But Pat, what was your favorite scene of the movie?
Oh, there were so many.
There were a lot of good scenes.
Probably the uncle complaining about the tailgate falling off of his truck. And he would sarcastically, he was like, well, at least I didn't have to lower the tailgate for putting this in the back of the truck. I feel like that's how I would have responded in that situation.
Gotta find the silver lining, huh?
Been upset with the person, still would have helped them out, and then just would have been sarcastically passive aggressive the entire time. Yeah. I really connected with that guy and with the uncle in that scene. And yeah.
Pat and George Lopez would get along really well.
I think so.
Oh yeah, probably.
Not the character, actually, just George Lopez.
Yeah. I kind of didn't recognize him at first. Like I heard he was going to be in the movie, And then it took me a minute to realize he was the uncle. Like I hadn't seen George Lopez in so long in anything that it was like, well, that and he had the big goatee and everything. But yeah, mine. Right off the bat, I'd say I really like the scene where he kind of half dies and goes and sees his dad, Jaime.
Yeah.
And
That's a good scene.
it's like the house and his dad's in there and there's all the candles and everything, kind of like the deal, like the Mexican funerals, they have all those candles and the Day of the Dead celebrations and stuff. I thought that was really, really cool, really well done. And it kind of brought like all the emotional stuff all back around. Like, this is what your purpose is.
Yeah.
This is what I was here to do, teach you, show you this.
Except the beetle.
Accept your destiny.
Accept your destiny.
And Skywalker.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh, what was my favorite scene? I actually haven't really I didn't think about this at all.
I can buy you some time if you need to.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I will just keep talking until Chris can come up with something. So I thought it was another really cool scene. It was like a close second to it was actually when the grandma was flipping through TV and they kept making fun of him for being just like their favorite Mexican soap opera, but in reverse.
Yes.
To where he was the white woman and she was the rich, whatever husband.
Yeah.
And actually, she kept flipping through channels, and if you look at them, it kind of foreshadows everything that's going to happen because it showed I think like a scene with some bugs and like a big graveyard and stuff. So it seemed like everything that she was flipping through actually came to pass because unfortunately his dad passes away, and he gets the Beetle suit and all that.
Yeah.
Can't remember what the other ones were, but I thought that was.
I will have to watch it again just to see.
Just to watch the TV.
Then again, by the time it goes to streaming, I'll slept and forgotten all of this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
never mind.
Chris, did you find an answer?
I genuinely liked the scene where he goes to save his family. And you get like a pretty cool fight montage moment where he's using his different abilities and doing different things, and then that ending with his capture and the death of his father. I actually thought that was like just a really good scene. Like you got some like really high octane, but still like grounded, like a lot of just martial arts. Like I'm sure he did all of that stuff, knowing his background, like being a martial artist. I'm sure that he was doing a lot of that stunt work. I would imagine. And so seeing that and you have that moment where like some of the family is getting away and then he gets captured and because of the thing that happens with his dad. And then you're like, oh, is the movie going to like double down and really like let his dad die? Or is that, are you going to see that he's actually in the hospital? Because, let's face it, most of the time movies are a little hesitant to really pull to deliver those punches depending on the type of movie. And so I was actually really pleased that they were willing to add some emotional weight. And like I said, I felt emotional in that scene, man. Jaime lost his house. Like their family lost the house to a fire. His dad dies in front of him. He's immobilized, being captured to be taken and killed for the suit, basically. And so it's just like this huge moment of massive loss, which always has to be like a big turning point. And it also allows Jenny Cord to step up and be like, okay, guys, we're, like I can help you and do this. And it gives his family this agency where normally in a superhero movie, what I think could have been expected was for the bad guy, the big bad, to kidnap the family and then take the family and hold them hostage, and then the superhero has to come and save the day. But they kind of did an inverse of that, and there were several scenes in the movie that I thought the writing was good because it subverted expectations, even if Colton thinks it sucks, because he thinks that post-apocalyptic movies like The Book of Eli are disaster movies when there's no disaster in them. But that was okay. But yeah, I that was my favorite scene of the movie because I thought that it kind of turned the normal formula moments for as many of the cliche things that are in the movie. I think that they did a good job kind of like doing something different in that scene. What about you, Colton? What was your favorite scene in the movie?
The credits.
Yeah.
At least he stayed that long.
That's true. He
Yeah.
stayed through the whole thing.
You're the sucker. You
My. Favorite scene. I was really gonna come in here and say this is the movie that converts me to DCism, and this is the movie that just catapults me into the lore that is the DC universe and how it changes my mind and how much I want to be a DC movie fan. And I get on here and the first thing I see is Gunner's shirt and I lose it.
He had to represent you, and you couldn't be here.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I got you.
I really do. I was putting in air purification at a buddy's house of mine, so that was fun. Got it took care of. Anywho, how far have we gotten? I'm sorry. Chris, I'm sorry. My sound is probably really, really loud and echoey right now. So please forgive me.
Oh my gosh. Actually, we're talking about our favorite scene, and we just started into our Blue Beetle talk. So
I'll be honest. I'm too busy looking at this backdrop that they have. I don't know. Have you guys tell me you guys have already hit on it?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I missed it. I'm gonna have to listen to it on Monday.
They downplay it, and everybody was playing it up. That's just fine, guys.
Yeah, we were.
Is that Mysterium behind your elbow?
Yeah,
I love that game. That's such a fun game.
It's their favorite game, pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
is your family's favorite.
I have regular Mysterium, and then I have the somewhere. Might be behind here. No, it's right here. Mysterium Park.
It's a fantastic friends and family game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Colton, answer the question of the pod.
What is the question of the pod? I'll answer it. Yeah, give it to me.
Oh yeah, here. You want the question of the pod? If you could choose to be any superhero sidekick, who would you choose?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thanks.
Do they gotta have a sidekick now, or do I just make up?
Hey, that was a question.
That was Pat's question.
Dang it. Missed so much.
So late.
I know it's a bummer. It feels weird with you jumping in mid show.
Dude, I tried to get here as fast as I could. I was doing things. Man, superhero. I actually think it would kind of be fun to be like the sidekick to either someone like the Flash or Aquaman, because then you could either run really, really fast or you could swim underwater. Because I don't think exactly.
It's gonna let him finish. I'm gonna let you finish, but just so you know,
No,
I'm not.
I'm not even letting him finish.
I wanted to hear the rest.
Sorry. Go on. I couldn't stop myself.
These guys came loaded.
Seriously, couldn't stop myself.
Already.
Oh shoot.
I mean, if we want to just forget the friendliness and we just want to talk about how DC is terrible in the box office, we could just go to that right now.
I already told them. They already know what you have to say.
Know.
Crisis averted.
Flash or Aquaman because of the powers you get along with them.
Well, as long as you got those powers that came along with it.
I mean, you're making the story up, so it's up to you. Do you want to have the same powers, or do you want to have something different?
I mean, to be able to go really, really fast or swim underwater and
breathe underwater.
I don't know.
You can swim underwater now.
Yeah, but not very long.
I can't really. So, hey, that would be a power for me.
You guys are killing me.
Hey, just so
What'd you guys say? What did you guys say? Quick recap.
Okay, quick recap. Gunner, go. Who
Iron
did you
Man.
pick?
Iron Man.
Ooh.
The Beast.
I picked The Tick.
And I picked Green Lantern.
Of course you did.
I love space, dude. You get a
He
lantern
does.
ring? Come on,
He
man.
loves space.
You love CGI is what you love.
Shut up. I actually, you missed it. I talked
Ryan
about
Reynolds.
it wasn't CGI most of the movie. Shame on you.
All right, so back to Blue Beetle. Now that Colton's here,
I'm having
finally.
better conversation.
This is a great conversation. Great conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, Gunner, you and your pacifism can't take a conversation that's somewhat heated.
It's true. It's true. I'm not into the heated conversation.
Confrontation's not his forte.
Yeah, this might get confrontational. You never know.
It's not.
All right, so we did our favorite scenes. I don't think Colton needs to answer, so let's do his least favorite scene.
He's gonna say the whole movie. So okay, thanks, Colton. Gunner, what was your least?
Anything,
my
anything
gosh.
with Susan Sarandon. Just hated her as a character.
Oh yeah, second
As a
that.
villain. Just didn't enjoy her
I
at all.
though, like she came across really wooden. Like it didn't. Her acting in that role didn't feel genuine. Is what I think it was for me.
Wouldn't you know it?
Now, Colton, go ahead. Did you have a least favorite scene?
No, that's the villain. The villain in this whole thing drove me insane. I think the good recipe to a good superhero movie now is the villain has to be just about as top tier as the superhero is to an extent. And when you don't cast the right person for that job, along with terrible writing, it is a recipe for disaster.
That's funny. Partway through the movie, I leaned over to Chris because we watched it together. I was like, why does the main villain look like a red-haired Hillary Clinton?
I see it now.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
The problem is once you see it, you're like, oh.
I can't unsee it now.
And it's about a rich white lady trying to pull strings on the.
And it just so happens to have a lot of Hispanic ethnic people working for her.
It's just, I was like, I wish you wouldn't have said that. Now all I can think is that like that partway through the movie, I'm pretty sure my brain thought I was watching Hillary Clinton is the problem.
That's hysterical.
So
you're welcome.
I actually, my favorite scene is when Jamie, what are we calling him? Jaime. When Jaime gets the scarab. Oh, great! You guys screwed me on that. I see the setup. Thanks. But when he gets the scarab and you see it on its back, like after it takes control of him, and he finally settles down and goes back to his normal self, like that, I thought that was a really cool.
Oh, in the mirror.
Yeah, in the mirror, you could see how it's like really infused into him. So I really liked how they touched on that. But my biggest problem, another big problem I have with this movie is we didn't talk enough about the scarab and the symbiote itself. It was just a simple one-off liner, and that was it.
The world-destroying weapon line.
That you can control by saying we don't hurt people.
Oh no,
because that worked with Venom.
It wants to hurt people. It's made to hurt people.
Yeah,
it wanted to kill everybody. He had to be
until the end, and then it doesn't want to kill people.
Yeah, right. Well, here's my
because they finally fused.
I'll tell you one of my least favorite things. It's not a specific scene, but it's something kind of dumb. I said this to Will. So here you go, Colton. Here's one of the things I thought was dumb about the movie. Was that Jaime's like, I don't kill. I'm not a killer, but his family definitely kills people. I'm like, I'm like, there's a body count in that movie, and his whole family, his whole. Now, granted, okay, if you want to say Granny killed people before, this wasn't her first rodeo, then that okay, whatever. But I mean, like, Uncle was squashing dudes, like
in the Beetle,
like straight up. And I'm just going, these would have been the people that instilled that in Jaime. I
Right.
thought that was that was off for me.
That was
one
off.
of the off-putting things about the movie. I thought that the family dynamic is actually one of the strong points of the movie, because of the authenticity. Like we talked about the authenticity of Hispanic family being represented in the film. It's represented really well, and so to have him be one way and them to be another, I don't think translates as well. I think that was a misstep.
It's nice to see that 180 with the family thing, because you have the family. It's like Jaime's like his family's kind of his distraction, right? His family. They're keeping him from doing certain things, and then at the end he realizes, hey, my family actually is here for me. They're gonna help me.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Pat? Least favorite?
Well, I mean, so when it first came out, I was thinking the whole thing with the old Blue Beetle.
Ted Cord?
Yeah, because I feel like they were trying to get a nostalgia trip from people who probably wouldn't know or care if you're going to go see that movie and not read the comic books.
I actually thought that they did that fairly well with like just kind of acknowledging that he was an old hero that people haven't seen in a while. I didn't feel like they played heavily into it, except they set up. Did you stay for the mid-credit scene?
Yes.
So, I mean, they're setting up him coming back.
Right.
I think he might be the Blue Beetle in the Booster Gold movie.
But then when you brought up all the killing that the family did, I was like, yeah, that was definitely.
That was your least. That was like bottom. Oh, I also thought even though they're like, he's like the Doc Brown of Mexicans, right? Like they say George Lopez's character is like really smart, which whatever. I can believe somebody super paranoid, researched security systems, made something maybe. Okay. I can suspend my disbelief for a film because I would, judging any film, I could do that. But it's when he all of us like so easily knows how to fly and pilot the Beetle. I had a little trouble with that too. That was another scene that I was like,
that was gonna be mine, where he could just like hack into this like
just new
advanced whatever
old computer,
1980 spaceship.
It has Linux on it.
Yeah.
Plot twist: he was the original Blue Beetle sidekick.
Dude, that actually would have been amazing. I never told you.
Yeah, that's why.
But it would have been a weird coincidence. Too coincidental. Then we would complain that that's too big of a coincidence.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
did you guys have a favorite? Or well, did you answer least favorite? You just did. Yeah. Okay. We're good. Least favorite.
Did you have an additional or?
Not a specific scene. I mean, there's a couple scenes, but I feel like the whole love interest thing was kind of shoehorned in. Like those were just the corny scenes that I didn't particularly care for, but
I liked their connection scene. I didn't think it was terrible.
No,
I thought it bled a little into the cheese. That was a cheesier scene, but
not a big romance person film.
I mean, if it's well done, sure. But this was just like they hadn't met before, and all of a sudden they're now in love. It's like there was no actual development there,
other than her thinking he was hot, right?
Yeah,
I mean, sure.
For the amount of time,
yeah.
I mean, he was just trying to get a job.
And I was Jaime. I would have.
That's true.
Yeah, he did. I would have tried as hard as I could.
No, I didn't say he was wrong to do it. I'm just like, you've known each other for about 6 hours.
Sure.
Baby, lock them doors and turn them lights down low.
I'm totally singing that before the pod.
Setting up for the podcast.
Yeah. Let's go favorite character and least favorite character. And I'm gonna go favorite characters. Jaime, of course. I thought he was great. And least favorite is
steal mine.
Susan Sarandon, because I don't even know what her name was. What was the villain? What was her name? The villain? Victoria Cord.
Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria.
I knew it. Sorry, I was thinking it was a V, but I couldn't remember her name.
Yeah. Easy answer. I think I've already said them both once already. But Pat?
I'm seconding Gunner's opinion. Big time. It's about the only good things that came out of it.
I don't remember the uncle's name, but I'm going to say he was my favorite.
Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy was my favorite.
Rudy.
friends.
And then yeah, the bad guy was me, at least.
She was just terrible, man. My God.
It's true.
Well,
VK.
Yeah, my favorite would have to be the grandma. I think the plot twist there at the end, where she was actually revolutionary, was pretty fun. And then I honestly can say I'm not a big fan of the sister. I don't even know what her name is. Like she's just kind of a
It starts with an M. Same as
Milagro.
Mila.
sure she's like she was an all right character, but she was kind of flat the whole time.
Yeah.
and you said your friend, you told me
Mhm.
that you said that was like a 1-to-1 with her sister, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So you don't like his
Will
friend's
does not
sister.
like my friend's sister.
Oh, cool.
Confirm. That is exactly how she acts. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So she's also kind of flat.
Yep, pretty much.
Wow.
Guess that's
Interesting.
what we're going with.
That's mean.
I thought
Gotta
she was
stick with it.
fine, so
I am going to say the dad was my favorite character. I really enjoyed all of the scenes with him in it. And just how he led his family. I thought he was super, like he was a good character. Which is why that moment lands well, I think, is they actually do a pretty good job developing him ahead of time. You get a good vibe for who he is. And I'll say I did think there was a scene or two where the sister was kind of a misstep, like her line delivery or something was kind of off. But no, it's the villain. Villain was weak. I didn't mind General Carapax though. I like the twist because you see this locket throughout the movie. And you kind of wonder if it's like his wife and kid or something, right? Like that's what you kind of expect. And I like that it ended up being this minor revelation that he was actually a child and that was his mom. It was him and his mom in the locket. And again, the movie I thought had a couple of moments that gave you breadcrumbs that allowed you to have expectations, but then they did a pretty good job with the way they chose to subvert your expectations a few times. I thought that they did a few of those pretty well.
I'd agree with you on the death of the father. That whole scene that was it held some weight emotionally, I think, because you liked him at the beginning. He was a great dad, and then you figure out that he's having issues, and then he dies, and it just was a nice subplot.
Yeah.
Not a nice subplot, but an emotional subplot.
And like Will said, then for the culture and the way that they view death and things like that, like when he mentioned like the Dia de los Muertos with like Coco and things like that, right? You get that scene with him then later where he gets to see his dad one last time. He had like a purpose in that, and I thought that was a little cheesy, but I thought it suited the movie for what they had established. I didn't think it was too far reaching, it wasn't off-putting.
You see that a lot, I feel like, in movies anymore, where they have that otherworldly experience, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's fairly common lately, it seems like, in a lot of films.
Yeah. So you mentioned the mid-credit scene earlier.
Yeah.
You guys have any theories on what's gonna happen in the next one when they do a second Blue Beetle, or are they gonna pass through with another Blue Beetle? I'm assuming they will, but
well, like I said, I think my guess is Ted Cord traditionally was tied in with Booster Gold a lot in the comics, and since he's been missing, it kind of like, I want to say James Gunn on his movie slate may have mentioned a Booster Gold movie. I can't remember.
he did,
but I did. I would not be surprised to see Ted Cord being involved in that. That's what I think it is. I think they're going to reveal, if they continue with this like they said they are going to. I think that the mid-credit scene is going to be a tie-in with Ted Cord, and my guess is he was missing because of Booster Gold, something like that. That's my guess.
I think it's going to be some sort of Tron situation
where he's trapped in the computer.
Yes.
Oh, that could be because of like all the tech, and she mentioned all that stuff. So you think they might go into the computer?
Heck yeah.
That would actually suit that vibe of that movie. The
down
80s
for
synth.
I'm gonna guess space.
I was gonna say space too, and I have a feeling there's gonna be something in the Lantern when they do a Green Lantern movie that is gonna deal with that.
Doing a Green Lantern TV show on Max, supposedly. It's cast, but I think it got pushed back because of the strike.
Right. The double strike.
Double strike.
Strike one, strike two.
What
Yeah.
about you, Colton? Any theories?
I like the computer theory
That's
that he's
good.
stuck in the computer.
That would be cool.
That's the first thing when I saw it, I was thinking, man, he's why is this computer just now all of a sudden talking? It's like, oh man, he's been away from that computer spot for so long because nobody's there to listen. And all of a sudden he hears something, so he goes back to that spot wherever it is in the computer. And
Maybe a rat pushed the button.
Well, maybe it's just a scheduled job. It comes up every 12 hours. Or something.
That is sound like an IT person, Pat.
Oh, sorry.
That would be like the plot of the second Tron movie.
Right.
Like that, like literally, like pretty much.
Pretty much.
I would watch that.
I would too. 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna say space also with Will. I think that makes a lot more sense. Is space.
I mean, there's cyberspace.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Scooby Doo. All right. Final thoughts. What do you guys got? You got any big final thoughts? Anything you want to say about Blue Beetle? Things to tell listeners whether they should go watch it or shouldn't go watch it. I feel like we're in the 80% and Colton's in the 10 or 20%.
Right. I would say my final thought is they picked the perfect actor to play that character because it looks exactly like the comic book.
That's true. Kind of like Tony Stark and Robert Downey.
Like as soon as he was on the screen, I was like, main character, I know it just looks exactly like the comic book character. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I know we already said it, but they stuck to the culture really well. They didn't try to, push any of their own ideas. I noticed a lot of in the credits, a lot of people who worked on it were Hispanic. Like if you read their last names, they had a very strong Hispanic presence in that, in the entire production of the movie and also in the cast. And I think
which is rare for Hollywood. I think legitimately that's uncommon.
Yeah. I think that really helped them maintain that like cultured feel in the movie because they had all the, all the different experience there. So I thought that was cool. Yeah.
I would say if you watch the trailer and you thought it looked good, go see the movie because, like I said, I feel like the trailer represents the movie pretty well. If you're not burnt out on everything superhero and want to see one that's just kind of like a simple story, it's small. It's the world is not at stake and the universe isn't crumbling and there aren't planets being destroyed. Like this is literally it's small stakes. And I think that was a good decision for the character. I think it worked as an intro. But yeah, if you think the trailer looks good, check it out. Don't go in expecting it to change your thoughts and opinions like it did Colton. But like honestly, it to me it set the proper expectations, and if that's what you go in expecting, to me that's what you're going to get out of it.
Gunnar, how do we handle expectations here at the Call Guys podcast?
We take a glass that's already shattered, and then we take it into the theater and we just throw that shattered glass on the ground because we don't go in with any expectations. Or we just take the glass without anything in it, not half full, not half empty, just empty, and we shatter that glass on the ground, and then we bag it up, and then we take it into the next movie we see. That's how it works.
It really.
It's same glass every time.
Same glass.
Preferably.
Yeah. And if it's having time, I'll glue it back together. But
sometimes we take multiple glasses in with us.
Sounds like you have a lot of fun. You go to the theater.
Yes, very much so.
So if they really like the movie, they just throw the glass down and yell, "Another,
another."
Exactly.
Yeah.
My problem is this the kickoff for the James Gunn universe?
No, his Superman movie is
his Superman movie. So we're not counting the wonderful movie, the wonderful Flash movie, and we're not going to count this fantastic movie too.
Oh, you thought it
To
was fantastic?
what?
You thought it was fantastic? I thought it was good. Like it was
It's
decent. But man, I
in the
wouldn't have said
edited, we can
fantastic.
make him a DC fan. Fine.
Yeah, and you could. Good luck. Everybody knows that is the hill I'm going to die on.
Started with Marvel, you would have come out going, it's better than most of the stuff they've been doing, but it still wasn't quite good. We know that would have changed it.
So I'll say this: I'm rewatching the Marvel stuff, and the one thing that keeps coming back to me is that the villain early on in Marvel was so good.
See, most people say the opposite, though.
I would say go back and see. Here's the thing: if you go back and watch everything, especially the crap that Marvel's put out now, like it makes the beginning, like it makes the Infinity Saga look so much better than what it was, especially now because now you really appreciate a lot of the stuff that goes on in that first phase.
I've always had like phase one has always been pretty close to my favorite thing that they did, period. Anyway. So
But but I feel like that was the best villains. Those were obviously the introduction to Thanos. And we go on from there. Loki was a great villain. A really good anti-hero. So you could probably put him in that category more than a villain.
yeah, I mean, he's not really the villain in Thor. Not the first one. Not really.
No.
No, there's just a big faceless robot mostly to deal with. Anyway.
My issue with this again is that it's probably just going to end up being another really good one-off movie that's probably not going to go anywhere. And by the time it gets back into the DC universe that James Gunn wants to do, they're going to recast the kid, and it's going to be a new person. They're going to go through this crap again, and it's just going to be what DC does best: Batman movies.
I feel like
I'm not going to argue with that.
I feel like they're going to either do another Blue Beetle movie with the same characters and actors, or they're just not going to do another Blue Beetle movie because it didn't do well enough in theaters. That's what I feel like they're going to do.
That's what I'd hope. That's what I would hope. But do you trust DC's Warner Brothers? Do you trust them to do anything in the realm of a universe correctly?
I mean, I think Pat's right though. Like you can't trust like Disney or Marvel, like Disney with any of its properties anymore either. I think it's just the problem.
And I'm not saying I don't disagree with you on that, but
I don't think it's Warner Brothers exclusive anymore. I think it's all of those big companies is the problem right now. It seems like.
So you're saying that we as the consumer got super, super lucky with the first three phases of Marvel?
I do think so. And I think that we're in a point of being gorged with entertainment to the point where they realize that just having their franchises can make money. And it didn't have to be a quality issue. So the reason the first phase succeeded the way it did is Marvel didn't have the licensing to their most notable characters. They didn't have the X-Men. They didn't have Fantastic Four. They didn't have Spider-Man. Those were their three most recognized characters worldwide, kind of people groups. And so they had to make movies with characters that had never been fan favorites. Like Iron Man had never, if you try to look up, because I do it for our podcast, if you look up like must read Iron Man stories, dude, it is hard to find stories that are that even sound genuinely good about Iron Man. And that's why, like, for years and years and years, the public did not like Tony Stark was not people's favorite. He wasn't recognizable. Before the first movie, people would have had no idea who Iron Man was. And it's kind of like the whole Pixar thing, right? Like the reason Pixar's movies had to be such high quality is because they had to present something that people would see and be like, wow, that was really impressive. They couldn't rely on their name. And so what happened was over time, the reason the degradation happened with the quality of things like superheroes, much like the way of the Western, is people have become so oversaturated and companies have now just been churning them out to try to make money as opposed to make quality product. And they don't have to anymore. They don't have to try to write good stories because they're like, look, it's just this thing that you already know about. And so I think that is what's caused these big companies to become so careless with the use of IPs, is they think the IP is all they need to make money, and they genuinely don't care about the product they're providing.
I agree.
That's what I think it's not one company. It is the big dog companies. It's all the big production houses. That's just where they're at right now. It's why the strike's happening. That's part of it.
Nice. Right.
Anyway, so to answer his question, no, we don't trust them to do that because we don't do it.
Right.
But do we hope that Gunn comes up with some good movies?
Yeah.
Sure, but like I don't like all of Gunn's movies. I don't like Guardians 2. I don't like Suicide Squad that much. Do I think it was better than the first? Parts of it maybe, but like I don't think James Gunn is going to be the answer to like, oh my gosh, the movies are going to be so different.
So you don't think he's going to be Feige at all?
I'm not saying that I don't. I mean, he might have the ability to like coordinate and do those things like Kevin Feige does. But even now, like again, Feige, like you read stories of people being like, well, shouldn't we do it this way? I think fans would like this. And Feige goes, no, we're not going to do that. And so, I mean, like at this point, does he lead it well? Like does eventually, does the throne consume itself? Basically, I don't know.
I would think.
Good movies start goodwill.
No,
Aquaman's the last part of the old.
But still, I mean, they're gonna let's say they wanted to keep him in this. Let's say Gunn wanted to keep him in the universe.
What you're saying, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
And I'm not, and like I said, I'm excluding the crap that they've done after Infinity War. Because Chris, you've known this, and you've taken my words out of context many times.
Fully in context.
Would I love to see DC do something like the first 3 phases of Marvel? Yeah, I would love to, but the only movie they seem to get right is Batman. And I don't think that they can do it. I think Ezra Miller really screwed up the Flash franchise. Superman, Henry, I mean,
I would argue the Schneider cut
I love Henry Cavill
of
Superman.
Justice League was really good.
What do you want, Christopher Reeves? Is that your problem?
No.
Ace, who totally sucked in Superman Returns.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when are they going to start? When is DC, if they're ever going to, are they going to make a product that is more quality based than?
Well, see, they did. It's called the Snyder Cut. You haven't seen it.
Yeah.
One movie
Yeah.
movie does not make 3 phases.
Oh, I
You
don't
would
want them
think
to do.
that-
I haven't actually given my opinion, but I don't want them to do what Marvel did.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way to be successful. I think Marvel did it because they did it first, but we've already seen what happens with that, right? Like Lord of the Rings was like, hey, let's film all 3 of these epic, awesome movies back to back to back and make these really cool things. So then you had other movies that were like, oh, we should do that. And then Harry Potter was like, hey, what if we split our final movie into 2 parts because it has a bunch going on, even though when we split it, the first one has absolutely nothing going on in it. And then you had all of these other movies like Twilight and Hunger Games and all of this stuff that was like, hey, what if we do 2 parts for our final movie? And so the problem is whenever you have somebody who does something that seems like they're setting they're trailblazing, they are the bushwhackers, they're setting the path. Pretty much guaranteed in Hollywood, everybody that comes after it always feels like they're just mimicking and it's unnecessary. I think with what Marvel did, that was awesome. There's so many different franchises now that have tried to do what Marvel has done, and it's been a joke. Transformers is trying to do it now, and I would be curious to see how it plays out when they do their G.I. Joe crossover. I would hope that that's cool. I think it has the potential to be a fun movie. Do I think it's going to be a great movie? No. Hasbro also owns Dungeons and Dragons, so whatever, they could throw them in with G.I. Joe.
I really like that movie.
Yeah, same. But I don't think DC should try. Marvel should keep trying because they're failing at it right now. I think they should just say, okay, you know what? Let's take it down to the base level. Let's see what makes a good movie a good movie. What made these movies good? Usually it has to do with the character stories built around the conflict that's going on and how that ties into their development. Unless you're Iron Man, and then every movie you seem to have reverted back to no character development until the finale, because you're forced to. So other than that, like, or Thor continually being dumber after a certain point, but we all hate that. So I'm pointing those out not because I'm trying to be like Marvel doesn't do things right either. The point is this is what Hollywood is doing. It isn't about Marvel or DC or Hasbro or MGM or whatever right now. It's about these companies who are trying to do things and they're doing them really poorly. And so I think if you take it back, I think the reason Batman tends to work in his standalone movies so well is because they're Batman level threats. They're personal usually. There's some kind of tie. And it's very grounded, and it's usually like, yeah, the city might be in trouble or a person might need saving or whatever. And they're like Batman level. And I think that if we take each superhero and we look at what makes them good and we look at what makes their character interesting, and then you build those movies, and then maybe you just do a crossover. You don't have to set up a big bad. I mean, like, comic books do those big events like Infinity War style as well, and some of the events are awesome and some of them totally suck, and you spend tons of extra money getting all these tie-in comics and then you go, wow, that wasn't even that good. And so like look at Spider-Verse right now, right? They didn't take the time to set up all of these different universes. They just threw them all into a movie and they were like, let's go. And so I think if you establish that these characters are in the same world, and then maybe you have like a single movie like Justice League, because I know you haven't watched the Snyder Cut.
It's Justice League Snyder Cut, or Snyder Cut Justice League.
So here's the thing. So you get a big bad. You get a guy who comes in and it's a big problem. And you have these people that they had introed in some movies and some new ones at the time, and they have to join together to save the world. And I think that works fine. I don't think you have to have like ongoing setup to just be like, crap, you know what? You know, these heroes, you've seen some of their individual movies. There's a big problem. They're going to have to work together to solve it. I think that that's fine. I would rather see that and see some really, really, really good, small, tightly told movies that are more like the Batman style, but for each individual character, and that's Marvel, DC, whomever, like bring it back down to like looking at that character and what makes them interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want phase 1, 2, 3 again. I don't need that. I don't want to go back and watch those. I'll pick certain ones out of it, but I do not have the desire to go back and watch like 20 movies.
I don't have
have
the
time
time
for that.
Yeah.
So like for me, I love that you guys love that and do it every so often. And I'll do it eventually with like my kids to show them like, and I'll even have to look at them and go, okay, this one kind of sucks, but it sets up this like 5 minutes that's going to matter. Okay. So
Back in the before time.
and that's just what it is. Like that's, but I think that if we actually try to take it back to just making good, smaller movies once in a while, I think it would be better.
I like your theory on Batman level threats. Instead of them being end of the world type of threats. And I think that'd be a good place to start in general with superhero movies.
Oh, for sure.
Which is kind of what they did with Blue Beetle.
It is. I think they did that with Blue Beetle. That was one of the things I liked about it, is that it was smaller.
Isn't the Scarab a world-ending symbiote?
The story wasn't about the Scarab, dude. It was about Jaime.
Oh.
Origin story.
Now, the next movie, he'll probably go to space or in cyberspace and have to, deal with all that, whatever.
Some space.
That'd be some good escalation, though.
Right.
So what is a Superman level threat?
Well, that actually, Brandon Sanderson has this theory on Superman stories, right? And one
I didn't
is
know this, please.
okay. So do you guys know who Brandon Sanderson is?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Never mind.
Good talk.
The most famous fantasy modern day fantasy author right now. Like he's like the
cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right on.
Books.
But basically he says Superman stories are told three ways, and it applies to like the way you can tell all character stories for the most part. You either have a story where somebody punches harder than Superman. That's the first one. You have
Sure.
somebody stronger than your main character.
So Doomsday.
He said those 10. Yeah, exactly right.
Okay.
And he said those tend to be the least interesting overall. He said then you have the ones that are like Superman loses his powers.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's kryptonite,
Right.
so he can't use his strength.
Kryptonite.
So you steal from him to make a problem.
Mhm.
And then finally, the threat tends to be something that he cannot use his powers to solve directly.
Sure.
Like
So if
Penguin.
somebody's and different things like that, you can't just like heat vision your way through it. Typically, like there's stakes, and like you have to come up with solutions. So any situation where you put a character in a situation where they have to be cunning and try to figure out new ways around problems tend to be the most compelling. Is
In
what he
this
says.
new Superman issue, Superman defuses a bomb.
Kryptonite bomb. So he's
That punches harder
walks-
than he does.
If it was a kryptonite bomb, wouldn't he have to like walk somebody through disarming it over like a Skype call?
turn
gonna
that
cut
3 degrees.
The red wire.
They're
No,
all
cut the green
red.
wire.
Got the green wire because it's the kryptonite bomb.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get us out of here. We're running a little late, and I know you guys probably want to get home on this Thursday.
Holden came late, so we had a lot to catch up on.
Right.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah, wait till the outro, Gunner.
Oh gosh, what do you have for the outro?
Nothing. I just want to say, on a serious note, guys, I really, really enjoy your guys' podcast. I think you guys are doing fantastic. I love listening to you guys. You guys are great. The three of you really, really feed well off of each other. If anybody hasn't checked out Guys with Issues yet, just
Really?
really go see them live. I've heard that they do live viewings of their shows. I heard it would be a great opportunity for everybody.
That would just be awkward.
Knock on the door. This is a recording Saturday, isn't it?
Can I sit in? Can I sit in?
But I think you guys are fantastic. I really enjoy it. Listening to you guys talk about those comic books and how they correlate to certain things. Like you guys just did the Spider-Verse, or you just released those, I should say. And I thought those were really, really good episodes.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Mm. Other than Nick, I think that was.
Yeah, you had some Nico four-banger on there, and I don't want to say he brought your ship down, but
You guys would know.
yes, we do.
I actually had somebody ask, they're like, so can I ask you a question? And I'm like, sure. And they're like, that guy that was on your podcast. And I was like, okay. They're like,
Amanda, plug
they
yours.
were on the yeah. Are they really like that kind of weird? Like that all like, is that because he was drinking a lot? Or is that, and I go, nah, he's usually pretty weird.
Love you,
it's
Nick.
okay,
You're a
Nick.
fun guy.
You're my favorite kind of weird.
Yes.
Yeah, no, fun having him on. We had a really good time with him.
Yeah.
Great episodes.
And thank you, Colton, for real. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
No, seriously, you guys, keep it up, keep doing it. Really hope we get an opportunity to get on there sometime, maybe.
Oh, segues are weird.
What?
No. Yes. This is Monday. You're listening to this, the Call Guys with Issues podcast. And
I like how we're at the issues.
Yes. What is it? Wednesdays? I don't want to get it wrong. Wednesdays. This Wednesday, you can hear the Call Guys on the Guys with Calls podcast.
Guys with calls.
I love it.
That's funny. Yeah,
I think that's going to be the title.
that'll guys.
So be sure to check that out, and I'll let Chris plug the Guys with Issues. And actually, you know what? I think Will does the plugs, doesn't he? Or do you guys do? No, you
We
guys
do.
pre-recorded the plugs, don't you?
Yeah, they
Key
pre-record
ways.
them.
Each of it, yeah, I throw in, since I do the editing, I just go, oh, who said what last week, and try not to do the same ones the next week. I just shuffle us through.
Yeah.
So
I guess the main thing is just go to our website, guyswithissues.com.
Yep.
yeah, it does have links to all of our
There's
stuff.
links to all of our stuff. So
And if you want to email us, you can email us at longbox@guyswithissues.com.
which is also on the website.
It is.
So yeah.
Gunner, say something.
No, I froze hard. I froze hardcore, and I'm gonna have to edit all that out. So,
Oh,
What was the last thing that you heard?
something about crossover.
We're gonna have to end this crossover. Catch the crossover where we read comics with call guys.
Yes, the Blue Beetle comics. I did hear that. I mean, it kind of cut in and out. That's the bad. I've been having some internet issues sometimes, and I think it's when we get into late parts of recording. So it's like sometimes I have to clip out certain things. But
Your whole neighborhood's probably like streaming right now when they're going to
yeah, probably.
bandwidth.
Dang gum traffic.
Yeah.
no, I'm actually excited to read this this comic, the Blue Beetle stuff, because when Blue Beetle's first trailer came out, I want to be like, okay, what the heck's this all about? And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like the idea of the scarab and all that. So I'm very intrigued to see where this comic book goes.
Cool.
Yeah, me too. I've read some of it so far.
I also have.
Me
So-
too.
And
I
Colton, you haven't?
You have a few
I
days.
haven't.
Okay. Yeah, you got a while. Couple days.
It's a pretty quick read. Shouldn't take too long.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. No, Colton will read it this weekend because I'm gonna let him borrow my tablet to read it.
Sweet.
I think
Great.
Colton's fake freezing right now.
That's okay. You can just like edit the two parts together.
Yeah.
He was fake frozen.
Guys, I'm sorry. I apologize for coming in late. Just
Man.
I really wanted to make this one because I just wanted Chris to be a part of something that wasn't Star Wars. So
True.
Fun.
Very true.
how are you liking Ahsoka?
He's only
Me.
watched one episode.
I've only seen the first episode.
Okay. Fair enough.
Gunnar told me I really need to catch up because he's taking it. So
Oh my god, I'm digging it. Digging it.
Sounds like I should probably catch up too.
Yes. It's
not catch. I know.
He needs to resubscribe and then binge it when it comes out.
That's how I usually
Anyway,
No, I know.
Gunner's trying real hard to close this.
do it. Yep.
I'm just
We can just
I
keep-
know where it's gonna lag when I start talking.
Go ahead, Gunner. Do you have plugs? You got any plugs, Gunner?
I do. Let's see how this goes. Everybody, thanks for listening to the Call Guys with Issues podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts at Facebook. See, I can't even talk because I'm afraid I'm going to lag. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can rate us on both of those. You can also find us on all your favorite social medias. Facebook at facebook.com/thecallguyspod, Instagram at the Call Guys, and TikTok at the Call Guys Podcast. Be sure to check out our website. That is goldenmojoent.com, where you can find all of our information and all of our links and all the other podcasts that include the Golden Image Podcast, the Golden 80s Podcast, the United States Paranormal Podcast, the Murdnerds, the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast, and Big Legs. Big Legs. I told you would do it.
Or the
Just go
opposite of
check
big
it out.
gains.
Go check it out. Yeah, goldenmojoent.com. Find all the podcasts. And go check out Guys with Issues.
Yeah. Please.
And I'm hoping we don't lag during the Sunday recording for you guys. So
We'll make
it's frustrating.
well.
Anyway,
Love you,
this is
brothers.
Will.
Oh man, love your brother.
Yeah.
Love you, brothers.
And don't forget, As the great man Juan Kill for 3 once said, DC sucks.
I knew that.
All right. Everybody out there in podcast land, see you next time.
Later.
This is Chris.
And I'm
Finally.
We
Ninja,
are
go, Ninja,
the
go.
guys with issues.
Do you have
Yeah.
people who use YouTube primarily?
Yeah, quite. I mean,
I am one of those people. Thank you very much.
Do you?
Yeah.
They are more fun to watch.
we don't get a lot of views, but I mean, we have people.
And I
that
try to
only watch.
like every video.
So Patrick's the one that likes all the videos.
Yes, that's me.